Out here today at Gunma circuit with a car you guys haven't seen for quite some time, the Beans 86. I had to come out and make sure it hadn't dissolved into the ground like a wet cardboard box, although it looks like the snails have had some fun chewing on it. Yeah, the rust, I don't think it's much worse than it used to be, but it's definitely not getting any better. But today's video isn't about this car, it's about doing a bit of spring cleaning for 2024. I'm going to tell you a little story about how the Noriyaro YouTube video actually started. Back in the day, I was a photographer for car magazines, and as the internet grew, magazines started to die off. When I'd be out taking photos, sometimes I'd think, man, I really want to take a video of this because, you know, the car is in motion and it looks cooler when it's moving. So I had a cheap little Sony, you know, video camera thing, and I just take short little videos, like the sort of thing you'd post on Instagram these days. I made compilation videos called Noriyaro Raw 1, 2, and 3, and they are still on the channel. That's how the channel started. So today's episode is going to be a throwback to the original format of Noriyaro, which was a clip show. It's more of a spring cleaning of my hard drive of old segments that, you know, didn't actually make it to a video, but well, I'll explain that later. Whenever I go to D1 Grand Prix to do the commentary, I always like to try and film the practice runs because you always get some really good solo runs and someone usually crashes like this. Just noticed there's a huge spider web back there. No spider. Is that spider alive? Hello? It's okay, they're dead. Good. So yeah, the Beans, one car we haven't seen for a while on the channel, and another car we haven't seen on the channel for a while is the Probox. Now I took the Probox out to Fuji Speedway and ran it flat out down the front straight, which is a lot of fun. I kind of got overconfident from that. I thought, oh, it's a pretty fast car. So I took it to a regular track day and tried to make a video about that. It didn't work out, which is why this segment, it never ended up being a video, but let's watch it anyway. We're out here today at Nikko circuit with the Pro Suck, the Toyota Probox. You may have seen in a previous video, we took this out to Fuji Speedway for its first track day, at which we weren't able to hit the factory speed limiter on the front straight, and the factory brakes decided they didn't want to work anymore right in the middle of Dunlop Corner. But it survived the whole day without braking, and it was so much fun, I thought, maybe we should go to a track that's a bit more its speed, so that's why we're here in Nikko. This is a Techno Pro Spirits track day, which is a bit of a mix of grip and drift. And Techno Pro Spirits is known for tuning Pro boxes, so I thought this would be a good place to come and maybe ask for some advice. And unfortunately the car broke before I even got here. The car seemed fine in the morning, but as soon as I got off the expressway and went around the first corner, the steering went all heavy. And then I pulled it over and found this wrapped around the pulley. That's the power steering belt. I had to cut it off. So as you can see, that's the power steering pump with no belt, and that's the crank pulley with no belt on it. Of course these cars are really common, so you should be able to find this pretty much anywhere, but today's a public holiday, nothing really opens until later in the morning, and I thought, look, I'll just do it with no power steering. I mean, it's not going to hurt the car, so why not? It turns out a Nissan Silvia belt is about that much longer, but unfortunately there's not enough adjustment in the bracket. So of course, once again we have the steel looking alloy wheels, the Bridgestone Super Wraps, semi-slick Toyo tires, and as you can see by all the brake dust, sports pads. So we shouldn't be getting any brake fade this time. Now talk about putting lipstick on a pig. The Probox doesn't have a tachometer from factory, so I installed this Pivot Pro gauge, which also has shift lights. And just in case you were wondering what the rev limit is on a factory 1.5 litre 1NZ Toyota engine, it's 6,700 RPM, and you can tell because if you press this button, it goes back to there. And the best thing about this Pro gauge is that it plugs straight into the console port. All I had to do was just run those wires up to there, and that's it. Super easy to install. Oh yeah, it's heavy. Alright, here we go. First time out doing grip at Nikko circuit, let alone first time in the Probox. Session time, car 16, last place. But we got a 47.309, which is faster than the first session. If you're not last, you're first, isn't that what they say? You're probably thinking, are you going to drive the beans today or not? Yes, I am, a bit later on. But before we do that, here's an event I went to at Maze Circuit. It was an A86 event back in summer. I bought this A86 back in the middle of the Corona lockdowns when just the prices were going crazy, and I was thinking, I gotta buy something now, otherwise, I might not be able to afford one later on. But what if you made your own A86 out of another car? I'm out here today in Gunma Prefecture for a Toyota A86 and 86 meeting. Because it's a newer car, of course, here today there's a lot more 86s and GR86s. But undoubtedly one of the most popular cars in the entire Japanese modified car scene is the A86. Whether you prefer the classic 80s or 90s street style, or of course the Panda color scheme made famous by Initial D, if you buy one of these cars, there is going to be one problem you're probably going to come up with if the car is somewhat reasonable in cost. And of course that is rust. Of course, if you buy a newer 86, that won't be a problem for quite some time. But to your average person, cutting metal, grinding, welding, all that sort of stuff, it's a big turn off to getting a project moving forward. And of course, the worst thing in the world is a project car which isn't progressing. So what's the solution? Well, what I'm about to show you will make half of you cringe beyond belief and the other half get overly excited for no good reason. This is an A86, or is it? There's a restoration workshop in Japan which has come up with a product to help get projects with big rust holes and things like that moving along, get past registration, so at least you can, get them moving. And it's this. So this is a vehicle. I won't tell you what it is yet. It's a demo car by this business called Replica, and they are a restoration business. And I think they mostly do these days English cars. You might notice that the car has this sort of, bedliner appearance to it. Well, the entire car has been modified to look like an A86. And if you can't tell what it is yet, it's actually a Honda Beat. So the engine is in the back. This is what a Beat looks like normally. Okay, little rear engine. It's like a small NSX. The engine is in the back there. But what they've done is they've modified it to look like an A86 using this product. Now you might be thinking, well, why does it look so janky? Well, there's a good reason for that. It's because they want to prove that this product that they have is good. So they made the entire car out of cardboard. So it's 2 layers of corrugated cardboard. So we have the 4.8 GE engine in here, which is actually I think it's like a storage box. All right. The bell mouths are made of plastic bottles. I think these are radiator hoses over here. So the entire car is made out of cardboard and coated in the reblock material that they make. Just to show you what that is, it's basically just an epoxy set. So they're a restoration shop, and their aim is basically to help people get their cars back on the road. And you can see this is made of core flute and coated. Right. They use like aramid fiber and that sort of stuff. Now these have windows. Now apparently this car will pass registration eventually, and they've made the interior like a replica of the A86, including the Ital Volante steering wheel. And they normally go for, I don't know, thousands of dollars, but why do that when you can just make your own? So there you go. It's not an entirely serious project as such. Like, they're not saying like, oh, you can make your car out of cardboard. It's just an example of this resin they've come up with being, you know, strong and waterproof. Oh yeah, here's the first project they did. It's a Lamborghini based on a Roadster, which they made it, you know, in a similar way. And you can see here, Danborghini. Now, Danboru means cardboard, so it's the Danborghini instead of Lamborghini. Just want to make one thing clear though, the Reblock guys, they do have an actual proper restoration workshop where they do high quality work. They make proper restorations, but they found that finding a way to get people to just get the small jobs done themselves, like a DIY, that's what they come up with this product for that reason. And also they built this just as sort of as an eye catcher, and he said it's worked really well because this car gets way more attention. And you know what, it's making me think, you know how I've got all those holes in my A86? I mean, that car can never be registered, unfortunately, because it doesn't have any paperwork, but you know, we could always make it good enough to drift in the rain, or you know, not have rocks come flying through the holes in the floorboards and hit me in the face. Oh look, there's a white S15 over there, looks like mine. You're all probably sick of that S15 by now. Hey, remember when I drove it at Gunma and the shift lever popped out in the middle of a corner, in the middle of a run, and I had to stop on the course and about 10 cars nearly crashed into me? Yeah, I don't want to remember that either, but here's how I fixed that. So I've dropped the gearbox down by taking off the gearbox mount, so we can get at the bolts on the cover, and you can see the problem. This is supposed to be bolted to this. This bit here is the shift rail. This is the thing that moves around and moves the selector forks. And this is the thing that connects to the shift rod. As you can see, it's held on by one bolt, which goes on there. So that's how it connects. So this somehow backed out, and luckily it didn't fall down there where all the gears are. It fell down here. So I was able to pull it out easily. So yeah, I'm gonna Loctite the hell out of this, and hopefully we shouldn't have that problem anymore. There we go. Now what I was wondering was, could I have fixed this at the track? And yes, you just had to lower the gearbox to get to these rear cover mounts. So it was just a bit of a pain in the ass. So I could have fixed it, but I really wasn't in the mood. Rear cover bolts are easy to do it because you can just look straight down. Back kind of hard to get to. Now because I like to do things the easy way, I have a special tool. Ta-da! Doesn't look anything special, but I can just stick this in here and go like this. And do it up like this. Then shift knob goes in like that. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, keys are in it. The oil has been changed as well, by the way. Remember last summer was really hot? Well, the RX-7's day on the 7th of July was so hot that I barely filmed anything. I just sort of sat around and drank cold water most of the day. But here's a few shots from the main corner. session's starting in about 10-15 minutes. Now for this one, most of you probably know that the world's most famous drifting track, Ebisu Minami, has been turned into a rally course. Now, it's an unfortunate story. There's various reasons for it, but right before they did that, they held sort of a last ever old boys event, which I did go and film. I was going to sort of make it into more of a big story, but I don't know, just somehow it never happened. I did, however, find a bit of cool history at that event and get a few cool shots as well. Yeah, he's fine. Alright, so what we have here are what looks like a cute, photo album, but it's all old school drift photos. See, that's Asamoto from like 2002. That green R32 there is Kumakuma's old car, I think. It's a Team Orange Drift Ute. This is what Ebisu Minami used to look like in the pits, so it doesn't have the roof over it. There's Kazama, Kuni, there's Yoichi Imamura in his old A86, there's Taniguchi's original S15 Silvia, it's Kumakuma's first S15 Silvia, and Ueno's Sora. So what's cool about this is where we are right now. See the toilets and the vending machines in the background? That's that down there. We're in the same spot as these photos. The track's closed right now. They're cleaning it up because Perotan spilled oil on the track. Perotan. This is an old school team here today. Kaso Subashiri. As you can see, they drive all old Toyotas. Corollas, Carinas, and even a Corona here today. Does this go up? Ah, there it is, okay. Alright, this is probably going to go terribly, but I don't care. We've got to get back in the beans saddle somehow. What's reverse on this? Oh wait, it's like that. I forgot. Oh, and the brakes don't work very well either. No, that's still reverse. There's first. Oh, brakes don't work very well at all. I've been extremely spoiled by the S15 and how good it is. Alright, well look, it works. Look, it's been sitting for I don't know how long. I'll check on the last video. This is how long the car's been sitting there doing nothing. Changed the oil and that's it, and just got back in it. Built Toyota tough. 難しいね。それはシルビアに慣れてるからね。そう、さっき言った。Yeah, I just need to remember how to drive it. Alright everyone, thanks for watching this Noriyaro clip show. It means I can clear out my hard drives a bit. Also, welcome back to all the Patreons. We're starting the Patreon again this month. If you want to see the videos early and see some behind the scenes stuff as well, Patreon is the place to do that. Come to think of it, if you're a new viewer on the channel and you've never seen the beans before, here's some videos for you to watch. And as always, thanks for watching. See you next time.